Well, hello. Um, it's so wonderful to be in Kim Thoman's studio today. It is December 12th, 2022. And we're going to start by looking at one of Kim's early paintings. And Kim, when you started out painting, what kinds of materials were you using here?
This is a combination, actually, side by side, a real no-no, of acrylic and oil. So I was told this was absolutely not what I should be doing, and I am a bit of a contrarian. I've changed a bit. But that's exactly what I did. I wanted the blended areas to blend nicely, and I couldn't get the acrylic to do what I wanted. So where you see there's blended areas, here, even the little flowers in there, it's oil. And everything has a little well, there's a little tiny well, because to start this thing, I put down tiny little skinny pieces of tape, so it looks like a coloring book. And then I do my painting, filling it in, and then I pull up the tape, and then I go into the little wells, and that's acrylic.
So is there actually an edge? There's actually an edge, a surface.
There is.
Around that's slightly raised.
It's actually mostly it's a little bit lower.
Depressed.
Yeah, depressed.
Okay. And is your canvas sized or?
Yes. Yes, with gesso, with the white gesso.
And any sizing under the gesso, or it's just the gesso on the
Just the
canvas?
gesso on a bare canvas. Yeah.
And a cotton duck.
Yes.
Great. And so nothing is pulled away.
Nothing has pulled away. We're talking 45 years now.
Okay, but the two paints actually are side by side.
They
There's
are.
not one over the other, so you don't.
In most cases, not on this particular one. Yeah, these were done side by side. Yeah. Again, with that little well in between, but with that little well, it's acrylic in there, so yeah, they're side by side.
And do you have any varnish or any coating over it?
Well, not on the acrylic. Acrylic, you can see it's very matte. So no varnish on this. And I think I put and I can't even remember, it's so many years ago now, there may be a light varnish. I can't remember what I was using back then. I'm really sorry about that. But you can see how it's uneven. So clearly I was using some varnish, and it probably needs to be varnished again, but
Good, great.
yeah.
So all of these have remained in really good condition?
All of them.
And how's the back of the canvas on this?
It also, yeah, if I turn around, there's just no problem.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. This was right after I got out of school. I was doing ceramic sculpture, and my training in the 2D was not as extensive as my 3D training, and so I just did what I wanted.
So how would you date this painting?
80s.
80s?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a whole 80s series. I did a lot, I'll just throw this out there, a lot of this was actually not even done with a paintbrush, the acrylic part. I would use these plastic forks, and I would do what I call forking it. I'd put the fork in the acrylic, and then I was, because this was all outlined like a coloring book. And then I'd go in there and I'd fork it this way and fork it, and I love the texture that I got. And I get another fork it that way, fork it this way. And then this sort of modeled kind of texture was done in a different way. I wasn't using the fork, wasn't forking it, but I had a lot of layers of acrylic paint, and then I was dabbing it to get something that kind of on top of it. You can kind of see that's sort of a pulls it all together.
So do you recall what paints you were using, what brands of paints you were
Yeah,
using in terms of the
I thought
acrylic?
about
or-
that, if I could remember. I have, I've used Golden for years, and I'll bet you I was using it back then. They've been around. I think they've been around 45 years, I think so.
And your oil paint?
And oil paint, probably something like a Winsor Newton, probably.
Did
That's
you,
my
did
best
you use
guess.
any medium? Did you use any linseed oil or turpentines mixed in
You
with
know,
your paints or
I
anything?
was doing these in a room in a house. So I know I was doing as little, anything that I didn't have a studio at the time. So I was using anything that was, I don't think I ever used the turpentine, you know, the the odorless. I don't think I did. So I think, my memory serves, I think I used linseed oil only.
Mhm.
And I remember doing that for quite a few years, just the linseed oil.
Yeah.